And so, for all of you who feel like huge failures right now, welcome to the Hastings family swimming pool.
People are struggling to communicate, and communication during the holidays is especially difficult.
I used to say, I need to do something, but that's not the rule. The rules are, I need to ask you to do something for me. And that is very hard to do.
Probably the number one most important communication tool for navigating the holidays starts now.
Knee to knee and eye to eye.
No arms crossed, because that sends the message that I'm keeping you out.
Welcome to Marriage IQ, the podcast helping you become an intelligent spouse.
I'm Heidi Hastings.
And I'm Scott Hastings.
We are two doctors, two researchers, two spouses, two lovers, and two incredibly different human beings coming together for one purpose: to change the stinky parts of your marriage into scintillating ones, using intelligence mixed with a little fun. Hey everybody, today's the big day where we announce the winners of our $100 gift card giveaway for date night.
But only 2 people responded, right?
So we were giving away 5 $100 gift cards, and we emailed the 5 winners. We did this big random drawing, and only 2 people responded back. So we just want to congratulate David and also Joseph and Rosalba. And for those of you who did not respond to your emails that were sent last Saturday, I just want to thank you, because today is Black Friday, and now I got $300 in my pocket for Black Friday shopping. So I hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome back, everyone. We are so glad to have you back for another episode. Have you ever felt like a failure?
I have this morning.
I do frequently. This morning, in fact. Yes.
I got up a couple of hours before you and was having my own internal struggles of all the parts of life that I felt like I was failing at.
Yeah.
You came down later and we're having the same experience.
I said, I feel like my life is out of control right now. I just feel like a huge failure. And so for all of you who feel like huge failures right now, welcome to the Hastings family swimming pool. Jump in, the water's warm.
Ooh, why is it warm?
Well, it's not yellow, but it is warm.
Oh, we've been talking in part 1 of this episode about how to navigate the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, New Year's, without dying from the stress or without wanting to kill each other. And what we want to help you see is this is a great ability to thrive if you're very intentional about it.
So I can not only not kill you, but our relationship can thrive and
yes.
be even possibly scintillating.
Yep. But we got to learn from all the fails. We were talking about failure, and in our conversation, we came to the realization that failure is necessary for us to learn and for us to grow.
And yes, absolutely. It is a strange paradox that we could probably spend a lot of time talking about.
And looking throughout history.
Why do I have to fail so much in order to grow? I know that up here, we all do, but it really hurts.
And it seems like we keep failing in different ways, so we keep learning lessons in different ways.
It's really hard. Really
hard. It is. But one secret that we shared in part 1 of this episode is to document those fails, have a meeting after you make the fails, and create a December protocol. Put it in the back of your planner, put it in with your Christmas decorations, wherever you want to put it, to remind you, because we forget 10 or 11 months later, 12 months later. We totally forget.
Protocol. Yep.
So we covered expectations.
Mm-hmm. In the first episode.
In the first episode, we covered boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Prioritizing our marital relationship.
Yeah. With all the different things there are to give time to and give attention to, making sure that we make time
for each other, that we give each other appreciation, that we schedule things in that help each other know that we're a priority. We also talked about simplifying, didn't we?
Yeah. And we had some pretty vulnerable stories we shared. So if you didn't listen to the first part, go back and listen to that after this one. But yeah, just some fails over the years. I'm sure we'll have more, but just learning and becoming intentional and moving forward, making changes. What are we talking about this time?
All right. So we're going to pick up with number 5. And number 5 is communication. So when I'm searching for content out there, trying to see what people are interested in, on Google searches, as far as marriage goes, on YouTube searches, almost always communication comes up as one of the highest searches. People are struggling to communicate. And communication during the holidays is especially difficult. So we have shared with you in the past some tools that I think are still very, very valuable when it comes to being intentional about the way that we navigate the holidays.
Yeah, I think just that whole, the time of year, different things going on, the busyness, it really weighs down on, let's say we had a great rest of the year communicating. For some reason, toward the end of the year, it becomes a burden, really. It's heavy. And unless we are exquisitely attentive to that fact, we're going to suffer. And I think there's some kind of a strange phenomenon around the end of the year that just why this happens.
Yeah. So I feel like, Scott, you tell me if you feel the same way, probably the number one most important communication tool for navigating the holidays starts now and every week between now and the end of the year, and that's our couples council. Would you agree?
I would say, yes, that's the framework from which we hang the other stuff.
That's where we talk about our expectations. That's where we talk about our boundaries. That's where we talk about, are we putting each other first? That's where we talk about, are there some things we need to simplify this year? If we have one of those meetings that's maybe a little bit longer, we talk about that and set those expectations and boundaries. And we're every week checking in with each other. How are we doing on these? Do we need to adjust our expectations? We forgot about this boundary, and I'm seeing that this would help protect our marriage or our family more if we instituted this.
So, Heidi, how are couples counsel more effective than me just coming up to you and saying, hey, do you have a few minutes so we can talk?
That's a really great
question.
Because
I can see a lot of people saying, well, I could just, when I have a need, just go up to my spouse. Hey, do you have a few minutes? Let's talk about something.
Do you remember which episode that was where we talked about couples counsels?
I think it's episode 11.
Okay. So for those of you who haven't listened to that, you might want to go back to this. But the first thing we do when we do couples counsel is to share appreciation with each other.
Well, I think the first thing is it's scheduled in our calendars.
Yep.
It is not me coming up to you and saying, hey, do you have a minute? I think it's important to make sure it's in our calendar.
That's right.
It's happening on this day, this time.
Set aside.
And not just me after work saying, hey, do you have a moment? Mm-hmm. Big difference, big outcomes, changes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
Then we share appreciation and gratitude for each other. So instead of us coming with our beef ready to pick with the other person on some things, we start on a positive note and just hearing from each other what they love about what we did that week or who we are or some of our attributes softens our hearts a little bit and brings us into more unity. Mm-hmm. The other thing is we write everything down. We take notes of everything. And I think that's vital for remembering, for documenting our history. So next year, if we want to go back and look and say, what was so crazy about that year? What would we do different? That would be the binder that we'd go to. We've got 4 or 5 huge binders now of notes for the last 13 or so years.
Yeah. Proof of our existence that we lived and we loved.
It's wonderful to see how we've evolved over the years, who we've become. So having that written down and then every week we pull out the last week's notes because our memory doesn't even remember 1 week what we decided, what we talked about.
We review last week's notes. Yep.
And then we talk about it again, and then we make adjustments. We have our action plans. Okay, because of this conversation we had, and we talked about 1, 2, 3, however many different items, what is our action plan? And then the action plan will go in our calendars so we remember.
Yeah.
So that's why I think couples councils are so vitally important this time of year and all year long, really.
Yeah, this time of year.
What do you think? Is there anything I missed that you would add to that?
But yeah, calendaring and things coming up.
Oh, yes, calendaring.
That's an important part. So we're on the same page
Yeah.
on things. We don't get our wires crossed on meetings and things like that. So
And special events, and we're
and
prepared.
it's an opportunity too to go through our budget. We review our budget during couples council every week, and we update it, and we see this is how much we have in this bucket, this category for Christmas or whatever it is.
And if you aren't in a place right now that you're already doing a budget, at least we recommend that you start a Christmas budget and that you update each other every week during your couples council on where you're sitting with the Christmas budget. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
All right. Any other tools that you can think of that would really help couples in communicating clearly with each other this time of
Well,
year?
I think all year long, but especially this time of year, FANOS.
FANOS. We've learned to love that. It means to shed light on in Greek.
So FANOS is
And it's also an acronym. It stands for feeling,
I feel,
appreciation,
I appreciate,
need,
I need from you.
own,
I own that I did this thing that's not really cool.
and success.
This is my win today.
Yep.
FANOS.
We usually try to do that while we're walking around the block, going on a short walk at night. You could do it in bed
I think we settled
Wherever
on
it
our
works.
nightly walk. We do FANOS.
because we're away from other distractions, and it's very valuable, very helpful to touch on each of those things. And I know for women, sometimes it's really hard to, and maybe for men too, you can tell me about this, to ask for what we need. Is it hard for you to ask for what you need?
Yep. Yes, it is. I used to say, I need to do something, but that's not the rule. The rules are, I need to ask you to do something for me. And that is very hard to do.
Yeah, like I need help with you getting the Christmas tree out of the closet and bringing it upstairs.
What, the Hastings don't have a live Christmas tree? I know.
We did for lots of years.
Tragic.
We'd go cut our own down.
We
That was
used
part
to.
of our December tradition back in
Not
the day.
anymore.
Yeah.
We have
We
gutted
live
that
in the
garden.
city. Things change, don't they?
They do.
So what tool do we have that you would recommend most for couples when they bump into some pretty serious not seeing eye to eye on things, maybe having a fight, just really struggling with each other during the holiday?
That'd probably be our Dear Man. We talked about that in the 3 communication tools episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is more formal. This is formal. This is not informal. You're sitting down, facing each other, knee to knee and eye to eye.
No arms crossed, because that sends the message that I'm keeping you out. So our hands are just in our lap. We're open and responsive.
So knee to knee, eye to eye. And we are starting with the person who feels the most aggrieved. We'll start first and say, when you do whatever the person does,
When you do not remember me for Christmas,
or how about when you do not get me gifts for Christmas,
when you do not get me gifts for Christmas,
I feel gypped.
sad,
I feel ignored.
disappointed,
I feel, fill in the blank, whatever word it is, offended. But you are the one who gets to fill in that word, that feeling, and only you. and your partner, your spouse is sitting
Just
across from
listens.
you and listening without interrupting. So when you do not get me gifts for Christmas, I feel
Blank.
unappreciated.
Okay.
The story I tell myself, this is almost exact verbiage. The story that I tell myself is that you don't love me because you didn't get anything for me,
Or I'm not important to you.
or I'm not important. Whatever the story is, this is the story I'm telling myself. This is my reality.
It's not saying it's true. It's just saying
This
this
is
is
what
how I
I'm-
interpret it.
This is a story I'm telling myself. In a perfect world, you would show me that you love me by getting me Christmas gifts. And that's it.
Only 3 are required. Joyful,
Yes.
needful, meaningful.
Yeah. So that's it. And then the spouse reflects back and tries to really reflect like almost word for word,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be word for word,
but
but
as
that's
close
easier.
as possible.
So what I hear you saying is when I forget to give you Christmas gifts, you feel unappreciated.
Mhm.
The story you tell yourself is that I don't love you or that you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
In a perfect world, I would remember to get you gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you have to add to that?
No,
Okay.
that's dear man.
We can leave it right there if we want. I understand. He was able to verbalize how it makes him feel in the story that he's telling himself. And I, as the spouse, am not required to comment on that.
You cannot interrupt. Right. This is my experience.
Well, even at the end, I can't say like, you're full of it, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you always tell yourself the craziest stories. No, I can say, wow, I had no idea that my actions hurt you that deeply. I can see now how important this is to you. I do want to assure you that I love you so much. And I'm going to write in the December protocol to remember to get you gifts for Christmas because I can see that it's more important to you. Gift giving wasn't really that big of a deal in my family. I didn't think about it a lot, but I can see it is to you.
Or you could say nothing. I mean, this is a tool that's meant to facilitate communication, but not resolution. You could certainly resolve it, and it
But it's
does
not
facilitate
required.
it, but it's not required.
Understanding is
And
more
it's
what's
really,
required.
this is really more formal. It's not informal, as I said before.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add, we learned about this some years ago after $100,000 that we spent on, well, let's just say a unique circumstance. But now we're sharing it with you for free.
Yeah. All right. If you have any questions about any of those communication tools, feel free to reach out to us at hello@marriageiq.com. We love to talk about these. So should we move on to number 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6 is stress management. How do we navigate the stress this time of year? Almost certainly people are trying to decide if they can figure out ways to get a massage or to do something to help with the stress. But what have you found to be really helpful?
Well, lately, when I say lately, in the past 6 to 8 months, I've really taken to mindful walks.
Okay.
That helps me kind of relax.
What is a mindful walk like?
Well, for me, it's not listening to anything, no podcasts, no emails, no phone, really. I'm just going outside and I'm walking down the street. We have a little park nearby and noticing all of the plants, the trees, the flowers, looking at them, just being very curious about the little critters, the little birdies and the rabbits that we have quite a few. You know, looking at the sky, the clouds, the cloud formation, just getting out of myself and observing without judgment the world around me. And I love it.
And you really focused on things that you can see. I also love to add in things that I can hear. things that I can feel. It might be the wind on my face. It might be my feet hitting the pavement. It might be the scratchy tag in the back of my neck. Things that I can smell.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the chlorine of the fountain in the park, but
It turned it off for the winter.
yeah, darn. Even walking by somebody's house and being able to smell their dryer sheets or something. Okay, I really love that as a way to help with stress, because we get so caught up in our thoughts of all the things we need to do that it puts us in a state of fight or flight, or we just have this limbic storm going on.
Mm.
But if we can move out of our thoughts and into our body, stress automatically decreases. I learned that in a mindfulness-based stress reduction 8-week course that I took. And if you're interested in that, it normally costs about $800, but I found one online that's free. Takes a lot of work, but it really, really is helpful and fantastic. Let us know if you're interested in something like that. I find sometimes taking a bubble bath helps with decreasing stress. Light some candles. Take a bubble bath when it's especially really cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I guess maybe watching a movie. We don't watch a lot, but I mean, it is kind of relaxing, stress relieving, especially if it's funny. I like funny ones.
Laughing's a good way to reduce stress.
So bring on the comedies.
That's a good one.
I think a lot of the stress too, though, honey, is caused by this either overt or covert desire to be perfect,
Okay.
right?
To have the Christmas be perfect, to have the gifts be perfect.
Everything, this self-imposed perfectionism, right?
Yeah.
That everything needs to be perfect. And I think everyone knows this, that we're humans, we're not perfect, but at the same time, we still tell ourselves to be perfect.
Yeah.
So we're caught in this, we know we're not perfect, but then we expect ourselves to be perfect and others. Yeah. Unless you're a narcissist where you only expect others to be perfect. But I mean, that's where I think a lot of stress actually originates.
Yeah.
Is that perfectionism trap.
When you say that, it makes me think of, we want so much to look fantastic in the party dress that we bought. But because we're so stressed, we're shoving food down our mouth, kind of to cope with the stress. And then it's this vicious cycle of, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight from all these parties I'm going to, but I want to look perfect like whoever it is on whatever media format we use. And so that's another way that we end up really experiencing a ton of stress, when if we just slow down a little bit, be really intentional about healthy eating and having those boundaries. A lot of people are just like, I'm just going to have fun, and then after Christmas, I'll start my diet. But it is one of the areas that does add stress to people's lives. Mm-hmm. So just having those boundaries and knowing what we're doing.
I would say a lot of my patients are that way. I'll get to it after the holidays with the weight loss. But
all right. So our last one, number 7.
Number 7.
And we think this is really important for having a thriving holiday season. And that is
tradition.
Tradition?
I love that movie. Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
Tradition.
Is tradition always good?
That is a question. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I think that's a safe answer.
Yeah. First of all, let me say traditions are super, super important. There's a lot of research out there showing that families that do have traditions are much more resilient. I don't know exactly why that is, other than perhaps it helps them know who they are.
Brings them back to their identity. One of our 4 cornerstones.
Brings them together as a family to have, certain ways they celebrate birthdays or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is. It helps with their identity, and it helps them know where to come when things get really hard. So traditions are really important, but is there such thing as too many traditions, or traditions that maybe we need to let go?
I think that is totally up to each person, right? If
Okay.
tradition is your thing, having many, many traditions, then I say you do your thing. And hopefully your spouse goes along with you. And if not, that's an opportunity for communication.
So let me give you an example. I talked about our Jerusalem dinner that we like to do on Christmas Eve. One year we were visiting my aunt and uncle. They lived about an hour from us, and we stayed so long that we didn't get back to do dinner. So what did we do?
We went to IHOP for Christmas Eve
Yes.
dinner.
Okay. So that was a one-time thing because it was an emergency. A few years later, we go to pick our daughter Emily up from the airport. She's flying in on Christmas Eve, and her flight was delayed. We're all there waiting in our matching pajamas and posters to pick her up at the airport.
And our beanie hats, too.
Yep. And we picked her up way later than we thought, and we were really hungry. So what did we do?
I think she wanted to go to IHOP, my love.
So we went to IHOP again.
Our-
Now, Scott wants to make that the tradition. I want to make the Jewish dinner the tradition. What do we do?
Look, I think that we do the Jewish tradition because that's the safest bet.
But we have an alternate
When
plan.
Jerusalem dinner is not available, then we do IHOP. Not Denny's, IHOP. I like to say that we have a Thanksgiving tradition.
Okay. And it's not the same as mine. So why don't you?
Well,
about
we
that?
ended up going to Golden Corral buffet one year for Thanksgiving. I don't know why, but the kids
Was it-
loved it so much.
Was it
that
the
now,
year that we totaled the car that day
No,
on the way
no.
to the
Oh,
airport?
no.
It
Nope.
was before that.
That was before that. We first moved to Dallas, and the kids loved it. And we thought, hey, this could be a tradition, and you were not having it.
No, I didn't like that for a tradition.
But we've actually had Thanksgiving dinner 3 times now at Golden Corral buffet.
In 30 years.
Just saying, it's a cultural experience. That's all I can say. It's fun. Then we get to
It's
go home.
fun.
No, yeah, I don't have to do any dishes, my love.
Oh, you may not always agree on what constitutes a tradition, but
Yeah.
from time to time, we may be a little flexible.
Yeah. That's why we have our communication styles, right?
Every once in a while, I give Scott his way.
Every once in a while.
Oh, so we do love centering traditions around service during the holiday season.
Mhm.
We've done that lots of different ways. I think perhaps one of my favorites, after we decided we couldn't go to Ecuador every year to work in the orphanages, we let our kids sponsor a Kids for Kids concert where one of them was over publicity. The kids are maybe 8, 9, up through 15 or 16. One of them was over finding other kids who were willing to perform musical numbers, comedy acts, dances, whatever they wanted. One of them was over collecting shoes for all of the orphans at all of the orphanages that we'd gone to. And one was over publicity. She wrote and we're talking, and wrote press releases with a little bit of help, scheduled interviews on the radio. Do you remember that? I think you did the interview with her.
Mhm.
Made posters, and each of the kids took their roles very, very seriously. We raised, I think, $2,500 or more for the orphanage
For some shoes, yeah.
organization, plus lots of pairs of shoes, many, many shoes. And that was really, really meaningful.
Very meaningful.
We've gone down in Dallas to take Christmas stockings to homeless people. We've put things together like that. We've done lots of different kinds of service. And for us, those kinds of traditions seem to make the holidays the most meaningful.
Yeah, I would agree.
We also have traditions surrounding our faith.
hmm
What are some of those?
Well, we do have a Christmas party at our church, get together, dinner. We like to hang out with the folks from Mexico, Latin America. They tend to party a little bit funner. And we just love that whole population so much. We, of course, like to put up Christmas trees and lights and Christmas music.
We have a lot of nativities.
Yep.
We love connecting with other people through going Christmas caroling as a family, or sometimes just the two of us, to send out Christmas cards. We're big Christmas card writers. So if you want one of our Christmas cards this year, go ahead and email us at hello@marriageiq.com and we will add you to our Christmas list this year.
Send us your address. We promise it will be enlightening and entertaining.
Now, I will tell you, we have over 100 Christmas cards that we send out every year, and we get so many comments back that ours is the favorite Christmas card, because Scott's been writing them the last few years, but even the kids took turns for many, many years writing them, and they were all so hilarious that people just can't wait.
That's a lot of pressure, my love. Well, we're so glad that you've reached the end of this episode on how not to kill your spouse during the holidays. And just really, again, want to share our love. We hope that you feel our love for you, our audience, those who are listening, who are watching. The Hastings love you. We want you to have the best, most scintillating life together with your loved ones. And we mean that.
We know sometimes it's really hard. We've been through individually very, very, very difficult Christmas seasons. And I just want those of you who are in that spot this year to know it can get better. It truly can get better. Things don't stay terrible forever. Keep having hope. Keep being intentional. Keep working on yourself.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoy the Black Friday deals today. And we'll catch you on another exciting episode of
Marriage IQ.